everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sally and this is Secret Life for Seamstress, my channel where I talk all about sewing and making a handmade wardrobe, and also some other crafts sometimes as well, like knitting and crochet and anything else that might come along in my crafty life. So I'm here today to share with you a makes video. I'm going to be sharing everything that I've been sewing and making since Christmas really. So January and February, we're just about coming up to the end of February now. So yeah, I thought it was about time that I did a makes video. It's been a little while. I've kind of strayed away from doing the monthly makes videos that I used to do here on my channel because sometimes it did feel as though there was a little bit of pressure to try and get a lot of things made so that I would have things to talk about for those videos, and I don't really want my sewing to be like that anymore. So from now on I think I'm just going to wait until I have a little collection like I do today and then share them all with you. And I do sometimes, obviously, in my other videos talk to you about what I've been making and my plans and things anyway. I do have a few things now that I have been making, so I'm really looking forward to sharing them with you today. So before I get started, if you're new to my channel, I'd love you to consider subscribing. If you're into sewing and making like I am, I do post regularly every Sunday at 8 AM all about everything I've been making, sew-alongs, fabric hauls, sewing plans and things like that. So I'd love to have you as a subscriber as well. And if you are a regular viewer but you haven't yet subscribed, I'd love you to consider doing so. It really does help my channel out, and of course if you do click the notification bell then you will be notified of any future videos that I post too. So with all that said, let's get into the video. So the first thing that I actually made this year in 2023 was a lovely cozy loungewear set. So you may have seen me making some of this in one of my sewing day in my life videos, and I'll link that video down below so that if you haven't seen it and you want to pop over and see a little bit more about the sewing and making process of this set, then yeah, you can pop over and look at that. So this set was something different and something new to me, and I did actually make it as part of a collaboration with the Pattern Pages magazine. So if you're not familiar with the Pattern Pages magazine, they're a lovely pattern magazine, an online and now a printed sewing magazine, and they also on their website have a lovely PDF pattern boutique as well where you can buy PDF patterns. So I was kindly invited by them to choose one of their patterns and write it up. So I decided that as it was still January, I would go for something really cozy, and I decided to try and test out the Olo lounge set by Named Clothing. So I'll pop in an image of the pattern here. It's a new to me pattern. I hadn't seen it before and I really liked the style of this loungewear set. It was a little bit different for me in that it had a V-neck, and I've never made a V-neck line before. And also I really liked that the pants were wide-legged as well. So I do have quite a few loungewear sets in my wardrobe, but I've always used something like the Hudson pants or the Stella joggers by Tilling the Buttons, which have a more tapered leg. So I really like the idea of trying out a wide leg pair of pants this time. So I did have to make a couple of alterations to the pattern before I started, because Named Clothing do draft for 5'7" to 5'8" height, and since I'm only 5'3", I did need to shorten the trousers by around 3 inches, I think I went for in the end. The wide leg trousers do actually have quite a wide hem to them, and in the end I actually did take off a little bit more than I perhaps should have, because my hem ended up being a little bit narrower to get the length that I wanted. I think next time I'll maybe leave them a little bit longer so that I can turn up the wider hem, because I think that weight is always quite good when you've got a wide leg pair of trousers. It just makes them hang a little bit nicer. But anyway, those were the alterations that I made to the trousers. I literally made them as they were, but I shortened the legs by around 3 inches. So this is the top. Apologies if this is looking a little bit creased. It has been folded up in my loungy drawer upstairs. But yeah, this is how my top turned out. So I did in the end have to shorten the top quite considerably as well. So if I had left this the length that the pattern was, it would have been long tunic length, which is actually great because I think this would make a really lovely tunic to wear with leggings. So that's something to try in the future. But for my loungewear set this time, I did end up cutting off Around the same actually. I think I cut off around 3 inches and I've turned up quite a wide hem there as well. And then I twin needled the hem at the bottom to give a nice finish. So it was really good to have a go at a V-neck this time. So the top is obviously cut with a V-neck and then it's finished with some binding, which you can either make yourself, which I've done using my self fabric, or you can of course use shop bought binding as well. You just need to remember to get knit binding if you're using a knit fabric. Apologies, by the way, if today's video sounds a little bit on the croaky side. I've come down with some kind of sore throat thing today, and even though I feel quite well, I just have a bit of a sore croaky throat, so I just hope this won't be too much of a croaky video. These are the trousers. You can see the lovely wide leg there, and then they're just elasticated at the top. And what I really like about these trousers is that they're quite fitted over your hips, so I think that's a really flattering style. They're quite high-waisted, and then they are elasticated, but there's not too much elastic there. They're already quite fitted. And yeah, you kind of get that skimming over your hips and then they flare out into the wide leg, and I thought that was really nice and really flattering. I think if there was a lot of bunching and a lot of elastic around here, they would have been a lot less flattering. Just my personal opinion. But yeah, love these trousers, love this set. I used a really nice Mind the Maker jersey. It's really lovely. I love Mind the Maker jerseys. They're probably one of my favourite jersey fabric people. The jerseys are just lovely, and this is really soft and cosy, and I feel as though it's suited the pattern really well because it's quite a thin jersey, but because of the brushed texture to it, it's so warm and so lovely to wear. So that was my first make, and as I say, it has gone on to the Pattern Pages blog now, so if you want to pop over and read my full write-up and full review of the pattern, then I'll pop that link down below as well. So I'll kind of go through the makes in the order that I made them and talk about what I'm wearing next. So what I'm wearing here is a Jarrah sweatshirt. So I haven't got the pattern with me, it's very battered, so I'll pop an image in here instead so that you can see what I'm talking about. But you'll know how much I love the Jarrah pattern. If you're a regular to my channel, I've made so many versions of this sweatshirt. But one that I haven't made a lot of is actually this version with the funnel neck. So I really wanted to try out another funnel neck version. I am getting more into the high neck actually, because for a while I just didn't like anything around my neck, and I still don't like anything that's too tight, but I am getting a little bit more into the whole looser high neck vibe. I find it really cozy and it's really nice to wear. So yeah, I thought I would try out the funnel neck version of the Jarrah. And I had this lovely knit fabric, which I picked up from the Knitting and Stitching show. I only had 1 metre, and I always knew that I wanted to make this funnel neck Jarrah, but it did take me quite a while to get around to it, considering that I brought this back in October, and the Jarrah is a really quick make. It was just something that I knew I needed to get on with this month before winter came and went, and I never got time to wear it. Anyway, so I pre-washed this fabric as I always do, and I have to say I'm slightly disappointed with it in a way because it did bobble quite a lot, which is a shame because I absolutely love this colour, and as a fabric it is really lovely and cosy, and yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed I guess that it bobbled quite a lot, and I'm not quite sure how long it's going to last and how many washes it will be able to sustain without getting really bobbly, but we will see. So I made the Jarrah exactly as it was. I had planned to lengthen it by about 1 inch, but when I came to cut out the pattern, I didn't have enough fabric to lengthen it. And I also had a slight disaster with this, as sometimes you can do with patterns that you're overly familiar with. I cut all of the pattern pieces out one evening. I had a bit of a batch cutting session, and when I came to sew this up, I realised that I hadn't cut the bottom band. So it's a bit of a disaster if you don't cut the bottom band of a Jarrah, I think, because it does end up very cropped. So the Jarrah itself, we'll just stand up so that you can see the length. So you can see that even with the bottom band, it is still quite cropped, and it only just comes to the top of my jeans. So forgetting to cut the bottom band was a little bit of a disaster, and I had hardly any fabric left. And I really didn't think I was going to be able to squeeze a bottom band out of what I had left. But I did manage to cut a bottom band in the end off grain, so it's going the wrong way to the stretch, to what the stretch should be. if that makes sense. And I also had to cut it slightly shorter than it should have been as well, so I did have to do a little bit more stretching to get it to fit, even though this isn't cut on the correct grain of the stretch. So all in all, this was a little bit of a trial make. It's always the way, isn't it, with patterns that you're really familiar with. So I really hope that it's going to last me, and I really love it actually, how it's turned out. And as I say, I love the colour, really cosy to wear and really nice. Yeah, really pleased with it. Just hope it's going to last, and I'm annoyed with myself about my silly mistake there. So another thing that I made in January, I think, was something that I briefly shared in one of my videos. I think I was wearing it in a video recently, and that was another South Bank sweater dress by Nina Lee Patterns. So I'm a massive convert to this pattern. It's something that I put off trying to make for ages and ages. I've made 2 versions so far, and they've probably been the most worn things in my wardrobe this winter. And I also have some fabric ready to go to make another one. So this version here, I haven't got the physical version to show you because it actually got dinner spilt on it yesterday when I was cooking, and it is in the wash, so I didn't want to show you a dirty version of the sweater dress. So I'll put in a nice clean image here so that you can see it. So this was one of my Minerva brand ambassador makes. It is written up over on their website on my account, so I will link that down below as well if you want to pop over and see that and read more detail about it. The fabric I used for this one is a really cosy fur back sweatshirt fabric. It's one of the Minerva exclusive ranges again. I'm loving the Minerva exclusive range of fabrics. They've all been really high quality, and I really love this fur back sweatshirting. It's just so cozy, which is why I've worn this particular version so much. So I made this version pretty much the same as my first version, but this time I did shorten it by another inch, which just makes it a little bit more, it feels better for me, I think. So it's slightly more tunic length than dress length. I'm not sure I would be comfortable wearing just tights with it at this length, but I tend to wear leggings more anyway, and I feel as though the length that this is, it just feels a little bit better on me. So I'll put in both of my South Bank sweater dresses. So one of them, this side, I shortened only by 1 inch, and this newer version I've shortened by 2 inches, and I much prefer this one. So to the naked eye, there probably isn't a lot of difference there, but to me, when I'm wearing them, it just feels better and more flattering. So I actually think what I'm going to do is alter my pink one slightly and just take it up 1 inch because, as I say, I just feel better with it that length. And I do have quite a lot of the pink fabric left, so I think I'm just going to cut off the hemband of my pink version, shorten it by 1 inch, and then redo the bottom band. And I think I would just feel better in it like that. I did initially think that I liked the longer length, but yeah, when I came to make the shorter one, I realised, yeah, I do actually feel better in that one. That was very long-winded, sorry about that. Other than that, I didn't really make any changes. I didn't put the side pockets in because I feel as though sometimes when you put pockets in with a really bulky fabric, they don't sit very well. So I left the pockets out completely, and that's fine. I don't think I need pockets in it anyway. So yeah, that's my latest South Bank dress. I really love it, and as I say, I can't wait to make my next one. The next thing I managed to get finished in time for my holiday, just in case you were wondering, was this Darling Ranges dress. So again, I haven't brought the Darling Ranges dress pattern down with me, but I'll put in an image here, but you will have heard me talk about that pattern many times if you're a regular to my channel. I love it so much. So yeah, I've made many versions of the Darling Ranges dress. This time I wanted to make it slightly longer, so I've never actually made a midi version just with the normal skirt. So that's what I decided to make this time in this lovely Atelier Brunette viscose crepe, or crepe. I love this fabric so much. I've had this for a little while now, and I didn't really know what to make with it because it was just so precious. But I think I've made the right decision in this because, as I say, I love the Darling Ranges dress, I love the style of it, and I feel as though it suits this print really well. So yeah, made the Darling Ranges dress exactly as it is in version A, but I lengthened the skirt pieces down. No technical way whatsoever, I didn't even measure, I just went to the length of the end of my fabric, which isn't very helpful, but it turned out to be the perfect length. I decided to just use the fabric that I had and make it as long as I could, and then I decided that I was going to shorten it if I needed or wanted to. But as it turned out, when it was made, I really liked the length of it, so I decided to just keep it, and it was really nice because that way I used up pretty much all of the fabric and there wasn't a lot of wastage there. So yeah, what more to say about this other than that I love it. This print is probably one of my most favourite prints ever. It's just so pretty, and it reminds me of like a 1940s style house coat. Does it remind anyone else of that? I don't know, maybe it's the colours in it, but yeah, for some reason when I was making this, it just made me think of like things that they wear in Call the Midwife and things like that. So the only thing I haven't done on this version is add the ties at the back, so you can actually put ties on the back of this so that it brings it in a little bit. For this version, I decided not to. I thought it was okay as it was, but I think I'm going to wear this in the summer when we get summer and see how I feel in it. And if I feel as though it needs to be brought in a little bit more at the waist, then I might just add the ties because I do have enough fabric left to do that. So that's that one. I just want to buy this fabric now in every other colourway. I've already got the navy one. I think it comes in another colour as well. I think it's a similar green to what I'm wearing. I really want to get that one as well because it's so beautiful. And then lastly, in garments, I have a bit of a sneak peek to show you. So this is something else that I'm working on in collaboration with the pattern pages. And this write-up won't actually be coming out till the end of March, and this is a kind of wearable twirl actually, because I really wanted to get the fit right for this one. So this is a jumpsuit, a full-length jumpsuit with long legs, and it's called the Springe jumpsuit. So again, I've got this from the Pattern Pages Pattern Boutique online, and as I say, I will be writing up a full review of this for them. This is a wearable twirl that I wanted to get sewn up in time for my holiday because I really wanted to wear it there. So I thought, even though I probably should be keeping this a bit of a secret, I was too excited about it really not to share it with you because it's so lovely. I'm not sure how many of the details you'll be able to see in this fabric, but I'll put in the line drawings here. But it's a lovely, lovely style of jumpsuit. It's quite fitted. So it has grown on sleeves here and then some sort of angled bust pieces, like empire line bust pieces here, which form this lovely V neckline. And then at the waistline, there's, I don't know how to describe this, like a pointy waistband here. And then the bottom of the trousers are attached to that waistband. And there are some pockets here, which make it nice and casual. And then you can make it culotte length or short length or full length. And I decided to go for full length because I'm not generally someone who goes for full length. I tend to go for culotte length, but I really like the idea of making a full length jumpsuit. The back's finished with an invisible zipper down here, and then you've also got this little keyhole button opening here too. So yeah, I just absolutely love this. And as I say, I just wanted to get the fit right of this and make a wearable twirl before I did my full write-up for the pattern pages. So I'm really hoping to make another version of this with a couple of tweaks to it. So the back has an invisible zip, and I can't remember the last time I actually put in a zip of any kind, let alone an invisible zip. And it actually reminded me how much I hate doing them. So invisible zips are just many people's nightmare, aren't they? I know lots of people hate doing buttons. Buttons don't bother me at all. I would take a buttonhole over a zip any day. Obviously you need the invisible zipper for this one because it is so fitted in the waist, and hopefully I will be sharing another version of that around March time when I've done my full write-up and got the fitting perfect. So stay tuned for that one as well. Lastly, I thought I would show you a little craft project that I've been working on this month. So this is one of my craft tutorials that I've written up for Sew It Yourself. So if you haven't heard of Sew It Yourself, they're an online website with loads of different craft tutorials, loads of fabrics and lovely things like that on there. So if you are into craft sewing, they're a really good website to check out. So around quarterly, I write up a tutorial for them. So I've made here a car seat organiser. So this is actually something that I used to make back in my Etsy shop and website days. When my children were smaller, I thought it would be really good to have something in the car that they could just keep all of their bits and pieces organised and off the floor, and that they could just sort of access themselves really freely. So I actually made up this car holder design myself. It's a really simple design. It's just made from rectangles really. So there's the front piece, the back piece, and then the pocket pieces here. The fabric that I've used, which was given to me as part of this tutorial, is called Monjardin, if I could say it in a French accent. And it's by Henry Glass Fabrics. And I went for these colours because I love pink and navy together. So yeah, I really am pleased with how this turned out, and it was lovely to get back into a craft project again. I will definitely still be using this in my car because my daughter has already nabbed it for her own car seat. So this actually ties onto the front car seat, and it faces that way so that children can just put things in that they want, like a water bottle or a snack or a cuddly toy or something like that. And yeah, it just keeps your car nice and organised. So if you're interested in making one of these for yourself or for your grandchildren or your own children, then the tutorial for how to make this will be coming out tomorrow, and I'll leave a link below for the Sew It Yourself website where you can pop over and find that tutorial when it does go live. But yeah, I thought I would show you that as well because yeah, it's really nice to get back into doing a craft project, and I just love these fabrics, and now and again it's just really nice to make a nice cotton project, isn't it? So yeah, I really enjoyed sewing that one up too. So those were all my recent sewing makes. I actually made more than I thought I would get done at the beginning of this year. It has been quite busy, and obviously we were away as well, so I was really pleased to get some sewing done and actually get some of my plans sewn up. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. It's free to do so, and it does just help me out here on YouTube. And as I say, don't forget to click the notification bell as well so that you will be notified every time I put out a new video, which is normally on a Sunday morning at 8 AM. Do leave me a comment below as well and let me know what you've been sewing and making this last couple of months, because I always love to hear and chat to you there as well. Take care, everyone, and I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!